Breaking news here, guys. Okay, a little bit of context. Denis Villeneuve, good Canadian kid, probably the hottest director in the world right now. Of course, came out with Dune that led the pack with I believe it was most Oscar wins this year. How many did it win? 6?
I think 6.
Six Oscars, led all other films with the amount of wins. It had like 11 nominations. Fabulous film, loved it. They should have shot them back to back so we wouldn't have to wait so long for part 2. But there were a couple of big roles still to be filled. One, of course, was the Emperor's daughter, who did
Princess Irulan went to Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh, who, of course, is maybe the hottest star in the world right now, which is kind of crazy. And then on top of that, well, the Emperor.
The Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV of House Carino.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So, that's well done. So, who's going to play the Emperor? Well, a name just came out that is actually kind of great. It's being reported by Deadline that Dune Part 2 has cast Christopher Walken to play the Emperor for Warner Brothers. This is what they're saying on their site. They're saying Denis Villeneuve is adding another high-profile talent to an already loaded cast. As sources tell Deadline, Christopher Walken is set to play the Emperor in Warner Brothers and Legendary's Dune Part 2. Walken joins the all-star ensemble that includes Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, and Josh Brolin, who are expected to reprise their roles. As well, Florence Pugh and Austin Butler, who might be the hottest star in the world after Elvis comes out, who were also recently announced. Villeneuve is back to write, direct, and produce. So listen, I just want to go quickly right over to you on this, Rob, because nobody knows this character better than in this room better than you do. You hear Christopher Walken's been cast to play the role. What do you think?
Well, I love Christopher Walken. I mean, the first time I ever was really aware of him, my mom took me to see The Deer Hunter.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't know.
I've never heard that sentence. My mom took me to see Deer Hunter.
Let me
never
just
heard
tell
that
you,
phrase.
Love that.
That's crazy.
It was for me. It was a transformative experience. But
What's that,
That's the second time I've heard someone say that. It was Quentin Tarantino was talking to Mark Maron on my way on the podcast I was listening to today. His mom took him to see that too. So this is the second time in the same day I've heard someone say that.
I've never heard it once.
I think my mom had no idea what the movie was about. And if you haven't seen it, Christopher Walken plays Russian roulette in that movie, and it is harrowing. And I should not have seen it. It was one of the most scarring things I've ever seen. But I still thought he was an incredible actor, even though I was 11 when I saw that movie. But he's an incredible performer. I mean, he's been so good in so many movies. He was in a science fiction movie that Doug Trumbull directed called Brainstorm. That was Natalie Wood's last movie that came out in '83. He was great in that. He was great in King of New York. He was great. True Romance. I mean, he's such a great actor. But he's a little weird. I have to say, I like this casting, but if he's going to be the regal, I mean, Jose Ferrer played the Emperor in David Lynch's Dune, and he had this very regal presence to him. But Walken, Dune's a weird thing. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, he's Florence Pugh's dad.
I just saw him in one of my favorite things I've ever seen him done in Severance this year. That's a totally different kind of role for him that was really neat. And then a couple of years ago, one of my other favorite things I've ever seen him do, and he was only his voice. He was the voice in Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
How good was he?
He was so good in that voice and the song and
so good. Because he is a song like you. He's a song and dance man.
Yeah.
Loves to dance.
I love the dude. I think he's great. I will admit though, it's not the first picture that comes into my head when I think about the Emperor.
No.
Right? But Denis Villeneuve, listen, he has nailed all of his casting so far. So if he thinks, no, Walken is the guy, he's a world-class actor. If he says he's the guy, he's the guy.
I think so too. He'll probably play it differently than we expect.
Exactly.
So I'm curious to see how his Emperor, I think his Emperor is going to be a little bit quirky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow.
Well, he's king of subverting expectations.
Yeah.
He was the headless horseman in Sleepy Hollow, and he crushed it. He was so great in that.
I don't know. So do you think this is if we had asked you yesterday, name 5 names that you could see playing the Emperor in Dune 2, would Walken have been one of them?
He would not have been Walken, but I'm excited about it. Because also I was just leaning hard into Florence Pugh.
Right,
just being
right.
oh, okay, well, who would play her dad then? Okay, and I was thinking about a bunch of different English actors and kind of going down that rabbit hole. But, I mean, Walken doing this? I mean, your impression off camera made me real happy about it.
The spice must flow. I do a terrible Christopher Walken. It's awful. Again, I apologize to everybody that being subjected to that. Look, all I know is that, look, the cast of this franchise was already stupid good.
Mm-hmm.
You got Timothée Chalamet, who I kind of contend is the heir apparent. He is the guy who is going to rule Hollywood for the next 25 to 30 years, I think. You got Josh Brolin in there. You had like more grit in there with Jason Momoa in there as well. Like you got Rebecca Ferguson in there. And now you've added Austin Butler, who's going to be like the hottest thing once Elvis comes out. Florence Pugh, who is now the hottest thing out there. And now you've added Christopher Walken. This is crazy good. Guys, question is for you. What do you make of this? Do you like the addition of Christopher Walken as the Emperor? Are you having a hard time imagining him playing that role? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. Now, Ann and I were both working professionals, so sometimes making delicious and nutritious meals can sometimes be very time constraining on us. And that is why we love HelloFresh. HelloFresh makes having delicious and nutritious meals fun, easy, and it saves us time and money. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable, and that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And listen, HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant, and it's even cheaper than grocery shopping. That's money back in your pocket. HelloFresh has fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying and nutritious meals that you can feel good about with 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. So right now, guys, go to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, that's HelloFresh.com/Campea16. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.